going on, everybody? It's Coffee in the Morning with your boy Don Illuminati. Back with another video. So, peace and blessings, shalom family. I want to tell you why I feel like a lot of people are fixated on the Most High's children, right? It's because these people are devils out here, man. And they don't want to see you getting to where the Most High has called you. You know what I'm saying? On this earth, we all got a purpose. We all got a purpose to fulfill. Nobody said that all our purposes was the same. God has individual tasks for every last one of us, right? And I've been fighting with this my whole life because of the purpose that He called me here for. And it's just so it's so interesting to me how, as I've gotten older, you know, the Lord has pointed out to me more scriptures about what He's been telling me about than I can believe, than I even knew was in that Bible. I'm starting to realize pretty much that whole Bible has been talking about what He had in my spirit over all these years. Now, I've been in church, you know, since I was young or whatever. You know, I used to go to church with my mother and my father. And we've been in several different churches. But why is it that I've always felt like I had something different in my spirit than what the church was actually on the pulpit preaching and this, that, and the third? And sometimes I would go to them and I would tell them about my dreams. I would tell them about things that God's put in my spirit. And the first thing that they wanted to do was say, "Oh, come on, my brother, we need to lay hands on you. It sounds like you're going through a lot in your life." What are you talking about? Sounds like I'm going through a lot in my life. I didn't bring you none of my personal circumstances. I brought you the dream, the vision, and now I see I got the word, and the church still acting just as funny, bruh. And I'm like, dog, was it me the whole time? That's what gave me a big disconnection from the quote-unquote church. And I mean that as the actual building, right? But I feel like these people are extremely fixated on you because they know you have a gift. They know you have a gift. And not to say that it necessarily is the actual host, you know, that's acting up, but it's the demons and these demonic spirits that they got inside them. It's literally trying to stop or counteract what God has put in our spirit, right? So I gotta let you know, man, if you ain't been praying every single day, and even if you have been praying every day, it's time to turn up on them prayers, because you got people left and right out here praying on your downfall. They really are. And it's bad enough that the government is praying on everybody's downfall, right? Why we gotta go through this, right? We're supposed to be protected by the Most High, and we are. But at the same time, we have to also ourselves counteract certain activity out here that's going on. People putting stuff on your name. You know, they bring you up in the background. They slide little dishes in here and there. And sometimes I feel like a lot of y'all people, y'all don't know it because you don't know how to read between the lines all the time. But for most of us, we do. And we can see what's going on in the background. We can see, if we don't see it, we can feel it. We got that spirit of discernment to feel, you know, exactly what's going on in the background. The malice, the actual malice that these individuals actually have in their heart, you know, to us. But I wanted to talk about Project 2025 as well. And it doesn't seem to be a good thing. They got 920 pages, 30 chapters. And I'm feeling like I'm ready to do some research on that, because there's certain things that I've been hearing that doesn't favor the community. It doesn't favor the poor community, and it definitely doesn't favor the community of the people of the Most High. But I think that they also starting it up, and for the most part as well, I don't want to say that it's just an attack on the poor. I want to say it's attacked on anybody who don't know how to read between the lines and know how to make the next move. Because as we see, we can say it's the Lord's judgment, or we can say that the government had something to do with the wildfires. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the government has anything to do with it. If they do, then you know that it's still poured upon the Lord's judgment, because, you know, He's the one that gives permission to all things and for certain things to happen. You see what I'm saying? So if the wildest of destructions can happen like that, like, did anybody catch that fire tornado? There was a tornado, bro, of fire. I've never seen a fire tornado in my life. Maybe they exist, whatever. I never seen one. But I saw how aggressive and how angry that tornado was. That tornado was out there like it had beef with some people. You feel what I'm saying? The tornado was acting like it was indestructible, like nothing was gonna stop it. And I feel like that definitely was the Spirit of God moving through that place. But see, there's a lot of things that the Lord know that we don't know. And what is that? It's how they're playing against us in this civilization, and they're trying to take us out. I'm gonna just let you know that some people, they hate the fact that you're extremely blessed by the Most High. The powers that be is already trying to take us out, but you got to deal with people now, and most of the time on a daily basis. I'm not specifically always talking about myself all the time, because I feel like even at this moment I'm surrounded by good family members and good friends and stuff like that. Maybe they may not be walking the walk that Christ has asked of us, the full way, but they don't take it to that point to like disrespect me. But I definitely experienced it, here and there throughout my day. But that's why I literally try to just like, I get up, go to the gym, really don't conversate with too many people, except for the people that you could tell are, friendly or got a good spirit about them. And then boom, I'm on about my day. I go right back to the crib for the most part. So I don't do too much hanging out and all that other extra stuff, right? So, because I already know what it's like, dog. I've been dealing with this type of bullshit my whole life. You feel me? But a lot of the times it was like, we used to show up just to scuffle with the demons. But we stopped doing that. Even though we didn't go there to provoke them, we were just there to see if they was going to, pop off, and then we just shut them down type time. You feel me? But, Project 2025 is, I feel like, gonna be part of the reason why this calamity is gonna begin. And when Donald Trump takes office, they got him set up to be the one to put these things in place. Because if they did it, they would have just gave it to Kamala and Biden to chauffeur this thing out, right? Because let's be honest, the fact that he's still the president, there's still certain things that he can do and sign off all the way to the day of, I guess, inauguration or whatever, right? But they don't want it to be in the hands of a person who's getting ready to leave office. They'd rather start their ish from the beginning. Now let me tell you, Trump, he knows about Project 2025, right? We're not saying that this is his plan, because this ain't his plan at all. This plan was actually developed somewhere in 1973, and around 1981 or 82 or 83 is when they first, I guess, like written off on certain documents. And Ronald Reagan, I believe, was the president at the time, and he's the one that put certain things into play. So basically, this 2025 project plan is a continuance, not off of Ronald Reagan, but off of the people who gave it to him. So let's be honest, Trump wasn't nowhere to be found at that time. He probably was doing his thing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Probably younger and everything, right? So this 2025 thing has to do with like HUD housing. I don't know if y'all know what HUD is, but HUD is like the facilities that take care of people, shelters for the homeless, and see they trying to take all that away. They're trying to take a lot of things away. It's about just as devastating to these people who utilize these things, or may need to utilize these things, because let's be honest, 80% of the real estate industry, the people who own homes, and people who are renting as well, right? 80% of the people are struggling to pay either their rent or their mortgage. And a lot of times when they're in that jam, just like I was talking about before, how you can go out and use resources and stuff. HUD was one of them, but I didn't say that. I didn't even put that out there. But they definitely was a resource, and I don't know how much of a resource they're going to be anymore. But through the pandemic, it was a lot of HUD taking over. Y'all don't understand why the homes went up. They literally forced people, right? So when you were sitting back, chilling on your butt, I'm telling you, listen, when you sitting back, chilling on your butt, we all kind of was, and then you wasn't forced to pay those bills. Don't y'all know that HUD was taking care of that? Y'all don't know that that's who that was, right? It may have been other programs out there, but for the most part, HUD came through and was holding it down. So what they did is they put this on the back end, right? But when they made you sign those papers, you shouldn't sign. Don't sign no papers. If you got to go on some type of forbearance plan or whatever, and they send you something back in the mail and you see it's a crazy number, don't sign it, because you could deny the offer, and then you can always sign up again. And there's no amount of times that you're allowed to do that. See, but these are the things you got to know. These are the things you got to know. Don't sign no papers, but continuously get on the program, because they can never deny you, right? But you don't also have to sign those papers. So you can kind of keep it going for an ongoing process. The thing is, whatever your arrears are, whatever you owe, you're still gonna have to pay that up at the end of the day, right? But when is the end of the day? When they get involved, they'll take you from a 30-year mortgage to a 40-year mortgage after they already raised up your mortgage to $300. Dog, these niggas just try to steal everything. The housing market just went up. Because if you do the math, see on $300, right? $300 extra dollars, right? Times 12 a month, times 40 months, or say 30 months even, right? That comes up to like $108,000. That's crazy. That's crazy. So they talking about interest, but even on the 30 years, they got you at 108. They just took more back from you, right? But now they extended that period to 40 years. So now they make you pay an extra $36,000. So now you at $144,000. That's about the amount of the average home went up around that pandemic season. See what I'm saying? So it's like, if you think your value went up on your crib, but you skipped that time and you wasn't paying the bills because you couldn't, don't think that you got all that in the bag right now. Because when you sell, you're not able to get all the funds. You can't even sell the crib. HUD will stop you from selling your house unless they're involved with their payback plan, which they told you had to pay it back at the end, right? So somewhere around there, a lot of people don't utilize between $40,000 to probably $80,000, maybe even more than that. Who knows? But let me let you know, once you sell your crib, you ain't getting that. You ain't getting that. You're gonna get what you would have had if you would have just been paying your ish and you was only there for, 8-9 years, whatever the deal is. So don't look at it like you just got to come up. You didn't. They gave you that for an assistance plan, but they making you pay for it at the end of the day. So you ain't made nothing. You paid for that. You paid for that. But that's the reason why they upped it. They upped the economy too. So they didn't really just kill you like that, but everything that they put in there, they're making you seem like you got. So if people started trying to utilize certain things, plan on certain things, you better remember, this is their plan to get a lot of people who have homes already and who was already surviving off, off of an income that now is even getting worse now with economy and inflation and everything else that's steadily going up, right? So HUD, their plan is to put a lot of people on the streets, okay? That's what their plan is. People who you wouldn't even have thought was homeless, but it's because you're ready to start signing documents and doing what they saying. Dog, don't listen to them. If you own your crib right now, or if you have a home right now, that home is to be yours. Don't let these people play you out of your house like they did most people during the pandemic, because there's getting ready to be another type of pandemic going on, and it's going to be a homeless pandemic. It's going to be the one that's going to start the civil unrest, and then it's going to be a civil outbreak, and then it's going to be a civil war. So this war that I'm talking about, what other wars to come in place if there's a civil war already at hand? And that's what we're going to be dealing with. As a matter of fact, that's the only thing that we actually even heard of, the government speaking of, as far as war takes place and what's going to happen. Why our government wasn't talking about a World War III. They wasn't concerned about a World War III. They was concerned about how they could put shackles and put people in the United States in the most detrimental situations they ever could have thought. And for a lot of people who not going to have faith in the Most High, they're not going to have the faith because their faith is going to be wavering because, like I said, when they making you feel like you got to do all this, you don't got to do that. And here's going to be your number one source that you're going to have to rely on this time. And it ain't HUD, but it's the Lord thy God. That's the only thing you're going to be able to rely on in these perilous times that are literally getting ready to come. But they're doing all this so they can get that civil unrest because they know what it leads to. When you got so many people out on the street, fending for their lives, fending for their souls. We already fending for our souls already. Now they got you fending for your life. And they're squeezing you. They're squeezing the juice out of everything right now. To the point where the Most High's people got to know what to do at times like this. And it's time to stay prayed up. Because not only are they planning, the powers that be, planning on your downfall, you got people around you praying on your downfall. And sometimes it's just the fact that they don't have what you have because they're mad that God has blessed us and they're mad that God has been blessing us. Why wait? Why wait till now to stir up all this type of stuff, right? Because they know that God's people are on the verge of gaining. They know that God's people are being blessed. So now, this is why I feel like God himself in Christ, he's already in action. But see, these things that happen, like the wildfires in California, you can't say they ain't got some kind of cahoots in with it. But it's still God that's allowing these things to happen, which shows that the Lord has no respect to person. It has no respect to person. And with that being said, is the permission he'll allow others to do, because the devil at the end of the day, he want to take us all out. He don't care if they're rich, and he don't care if they're a child of God. He wants to destroy you. He wants to destroy you because he ain't you. He's not a human being to be able to walk this life and enjoy the fruits of life that God gave us. And that's the biggest jealous person that you're gonna have here. But the fact that you have people who we consider the Lord to be our personal savior. And what that means is, it ain't just saving your soul, it'll save your life, the possessional items, the things, your necessities you need to get by, right? The devil, let's be honest, it's only the devil that can hate on that, So you should never, if we're spiritual brothers and sisters, right? We should never have that in our heart, literally, for anyone. Not even for the sinners, as the Bible tells us, not to envy the wicked, and what they have in this world. And we don't, because that would be idolatry. Because now you're setting them as a pedestal, and you're saying that I wish to be like them, versus you wish to be like the Most High. No, I'd rather be like the Most High. I'd rather be who the Most High has called me to be. And if he called me for a blessing, how dare I let anybody get in the way? I don't give a damn who it is. I don't care if it's HUD or the people in my circle. I'm not going to allow you to get in the way and start destroying things that God said was for me. I'm not going to allow you to waver my faith. I'm not going to allow you to talk behind my back. I'm not going to allow you to do things that's going to orchestrate certain things in my life that's going to make it hard for me to just live. Okay? And I got about 11 minutes going on left here, so this camera might just shut off. But if it does, for the most part, I'm saying the take of what I need to say right now. But I wish I could have been, in the basement right now and pulling up the videos of the things that I'm seeing that other people are reading out of the chapters in that 920 pages of that Project 2025. What I see right now with the wildfires and what they did with the insurance companies, that's literally the 2020 Project 2025 type-ish. Those people, right, are still having to pay their mortgage right now. House is burnt to the ground. Because they didn't get insurance, to cover it. They still have to pay. That's what a lot of people don't know. They still actually have to pay on the mortgages. And if they don't, you know what happens? They get collections. They got to file bankruptcy. It's a lot of things. So, you know, and I remember, you know, the last video I did, that last video, I was just praising the Lord. I was not celebrating anybody's downfall. Let's just get that 1,000% straight. And I said that in the video. I said that I just like to see the Lord at work. And look who he decided to start with. He didn't decide to start with the poor. You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. To give us the idea of what it's going to be like when calamity actually starts to fall on this place, on Babylon. That you could feel like you could be surrounded in the midst of that. But if you're being obedient to the will of the Most High, he'll protect you and everything that he's bestowed upon you. Okay? So that's even in the midst, like it says, he will prepare a place before you in the presence of your enemies. So no matter if you have people out here preying on your downfall or not, because it's witchcraft and they do a lot of it. That's why you got to keep yourself isolated as much as possible, because the more people you hang around that are not of the Spirit of God, you have just that much more to deal with in your life. Because now you got more people chatting. You got more people hating. See what I'm saying? You ever realize why things start to feel better and start to go better when you're doing things solo? Well, that's why. Because there's nobody else out there to counteract what you're doing and to spread that witchcraft against you. Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, they hate your bloody guts. They hate your bloody guts just because of the fact that in their spirit, they know what it is that the Most High has for you. This is all of us. This is how we've been roaming around this earth. With people who may even seem like they're your brother or your sister, even in Christ. But they still have some malice inside of their heart against you. And sometimes you may not even be on your journey. You may be, like I'm talking about, like me, right? I deal with a lot of that. And it's like, yo, you would thought these people was hating on me because I made it to where the Most High has called me already. But I'm not there. I'm not there. You know, I'm still working in the craft. I'm still working in the gift that he gave me. And the fact that they see that I'm dedicated with it, that really pisses them off. It does. Because they know that one day, if I don't stop doing what I'm doing now, they know one day there's going to be an explosion of blessings for me. Even though I'm blessed by God, right? Because God is taking care of me. I'm blessed because I put everything in his hands. Because I'm wise enough to know that I can't do it by myself. I don't care what I'm up against. And you shouldn't either. But be blessed because you know that you rely on the Most High for everything you need. God will supply all your needs. Philippians 4:19, according to your righteousness, right? So it's our job to be righteous. And the Bible also says it's better to have a little righteousness, just a little bit, than a large income with no justice. Think about it. The people, the wildfires, if they had just a little bit of righteousness, see, it's better to have a little righteousness than a large income with no justice. They can't even get justice from the insurance company to take care. They can't sue nobody, can't do anything. So justice isn't supplying them right now. It's not coming in their favor. But had they been righteous, like the ones whose houses were saved and they gave people that good old testimony, the Lord saved my house. Those people had a little righteousness. Even if they did have a large income, they still had that righteousness with them. So guess what? They were saved. They were spared. Their life was taken care of. You feel me? So it's better to have a little righteousness than a large income with no justice. Because now, what is it going to be like for you when things start happening around you and then there's nothing there that's going to justify you? Because you can have every excuse in the book that may pan out. But who cares? It's just on you. You got to take the fall. You got to take that L. God is not going to allow his people that are being obedient to take those kind of L's. If anything he's going to do for you, he'll take you, pick you up from one place and usher you to another. Sometimes you may look at it like it's an L, but sometimes he might just be saving your life. Sometimes he may just be making things lighter for you in life. Sometimes he could just be pulling you away from the things that Satan knew that if he was whipping up this plan and you couldn't see it, that he would destroy you with it. But if you allow God, if you believe in God, if you put your faith in the Most High, and you know that no matter what it looks like, and that's what I'm trying to tell y'all right now, don't let go of the blessings that God gave to you. I don't care what happens. I don't care if everything on your credit showed up talking about you got to pay all this today or 30 days to pay everything or you're going to jail. I don't care if your school loans come back talking about this, that, and the third. We're going to trash your credit. So what? We get ready to trash Babylon, nigga. Why don't y'all shovel that up and put that in the pile? You feel me? But that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm not one of the people that's homeless right now, and I'm still hanging on to the skin of my teeth, even believing in God, right? Because that's what it feel like, right? We hanging on by the skin of our teeth, right? Because the weight that's on our shoulders is so heavy on a lot of us, right? Not just your average American, but you know, the people of God as well, because we're also Americans. But we notice how the Lord comes through and he spares us in many situations. And we got to keep depending on him, and we got to keep relying on him to keep doing that. But that's all I ever did. So I don't, you feel me? I'm just like I said, if anything, God will want to pick us up to one place and take us to another. If calamity really starts getting heavy on you, or things start getting very dangerous in your environment, that's why I feel like it's now is going to be the time. Shout out the New Breed. We got to put that out there. The UP Farms, the Unlimited Potential Farms, right? We got to get this promotion of these open spaces of land back on the map to the people. So when this time happens, we know where to come. It's not just the fact of having shelter in a place where, you know, you're going to be out of the environment, but you're going to be in a place where you can learn from other people, learning other things, how to build, how to plant. It's time to come together to put our skills together to become knowledgeable. If you want to stick it out and you want to go through the battle like some people willing, then do that. Be a soldier for the Most High, because he going to bless you at the end of the day, even in the midst of battle, right? Because we're going to be in the midst of a civil war. After the outbreak comes the war, okay? Because people are going to find anything and any reason to be your enemy. Believe me when I tell you, especially when they find out that you're blessed and you have things that they don't have. And they're going to be extremely angry with God, which means they're going to be extremely angry with you. So you may be having to be on your high defense. And shout out to everybody who believe in the Second Amendment and standing your ground, as the Bible says to stand your ground. And selling your cloak and buying yourself a sword to protect yourself at times when it's need be. But this Project 2025 thing that's coming up, it's getting ready to shut a lot of people down. It's getting ready to put a lot of people in a different mental space, in a spiritual predicament, to the point where they're going to become demonic. They're going to lose their marbles because they don't have the faith in them. And I don't want y'all to be those people who are allowing these things to waver your faith, because they're going to come for you the same way they're coming for them. The thing is, we know how to take this thing a little bit stronger. I already see what's going on. I see how they have it operating. And I'm telling y'all, don't sign no papers. Don't sign no papers. It's got anything that got your name on it right now, and they telling you that we're going to reorchestrate this for you so you can be safe. Dog, that's like taking an injection right now. Don't sign at all. All right? This camera's getting ready to run out soon. So I guess I'll go ahead and wrap it up though. But I'll be back to pull up some of those videos. We're going to do some more research on this Project 2025 thing, because it ain't looking good for multiple millions of people. 80% of this country is suffering right now as we speak. They haven't been able to pay their bills for the last 6 months. How much worse is it going to get in 2025? Till next time, it's your boy Don Illuminati. Peace and my love.